She chose the sky, not the cage. In a quiet village called Thendrelur, life moved slowly. The sun rose over paddy fields. Women drew columns. Men left for work. Everything followed tradition, especially for girls. The girl WHO looked up. Among them lived a girl named Kavya. Every evening, while others hurried home, Kavya stood near the open fields, looking at the sky. Not because she was lazy, but because she dreamed. She didn't dream of leaving the village. She dreamed of living freely inside it. The invisible rules. In Thendrelur, no one said girls were imprisoned. Yet everyone knew the rules. Speak softly. Walk carefully. Don't question. Don't choose. Don't dream too much. Freedom was never discussed. It was silently denied. A question that made people uncomfortable. One day, during a village meeting, Kavya asked, "Why can boys choose their, but girls must accept theirs?" No one answered. Some laughed. Some got angry. Some avoided her eyes. That night, her mother warned her, "Don't ask such questions. Freedom has consequences." Kavya listened, but she didn't stop thinking. The inner struggle. Kavya worked hard. She helped in the fields. She studied at night. She respected traditions. But inside her heart, something whispered. Respect should not cost your freedom. She wasn't fighting people. She was fighting fear. The turning point. One summer, a drought hit Thendrelur. Crops failed. Income stopped. Families struggled. Men migrated for work. Women stayed back, including Kavya. When she stepped forward, instead of waiting helplessly, Kavya gathered village women. She suggested small home-based work. Collective savings skill sharing. Some doubted her. She's just a girl. Kavya smiled and continued. From doubt to trust. Slowly, things change. Women earned small incomes. Families survived the drought. Confidence grew. For the first time, villagers didn't see Kavya as a girl with ideas. They saw her as a leader. Freedom defined differently. One elder asked her, "Why are you doing all this?" Kavya replied softly, "Freedom is not about running away. It's about standing strong where you are." That sentence stayed. The most powerful change. Girls started studying longer. Women spoke in meetings. Decisions were shared. Freedom didn't arrive loudly. It arrived naturally. A mother's tears. One evening, Kavya's mother held her hand and said, "I was afraid of freedom for you. Now I understand. Fear was the real cage." Both cried, not in pain, in release. Thendrelur didn't change overnight, but it changed forever. Because one girl didn't ask permission to be free. She proved freedom could coexist with roots. If you are told to stay silent, remember Kavya. Freedom begins when courage speaks quietly, and walks steadily. Dove seedling.
The day the village laughed again. Long before life became rushed and noisy, there was a quiet village called Sundarapalayam. It sat between green fields and a slow-moving river, where mornings smelled of soil and evenings sounded like laughter. People in Sundarapalayam were not rich. But they were rich in time. They greeted the sun. They shared meals. They slept peacefully. When silence replaced laughter, one year, change arrived. A factory was built near the village. Young people left for work. Fields were neglected. The river lost its clarity. Gradually, the village lost something invisible. Laughter. People still lived there, but they no longer lived together. The old postman. Among them lived an old man named Raman. He had once been the village postman, delivering letters by bicycle. Now retired, he spent his days sitting near the banyan tree, watching people hurry past. One evening, Raman noticed something painful. People passed him without stopping. He smiled anyway. That night, he made a decision. A simple idea. The next morning, Raman placed a wooden board under the banyan tree. On it, he wrote, "Evening gathering, stories, tea, and smiles." No date, no instructions, just an invitation. The first evening. That evening, only 3 people came. An old woman, a curious child, and a tired farmer. Raman made tea. He told a funny story from his postman days. They laughed. It felt strange, but it felt good. When word spread, the next day, more people came. Someone brought snacks. Someone shared a memory. Someone sang an old village song. Children began to play again. Elders began to talk again. Slowly, Sundarapalayam remembered itself. The real change. Inspired by those evenings, villagers returned to their fields. They cleaned the river together. They planted trees. They reduced factory waste through unity. Not through protests. Through participation. The factory adjusted. The river healed. The village smiled again. A happy realization. One day, a young boy asked Raman, "Thatha, how did you fix our village?" Raman laughed. He replied, "I didn't fix anything. I just reminded people who they already were." You don't always need big plans to create change. Sometimes, all it takes is one small step, one kind idea, one shared moment. If you feel lost, tired, or disconnected, start small. Bring people together. Because happiness doesn't come from rushing forward. It comes from returning to what matters. Seedling Yellow Heart.
The silence between them. Arun and Meera had been married for 7 years. Once, their house was filled with laughter, late-night talk. But now, silence lived between them. Not peaceful silence. Arun worked long hours. He believed providing money was love. Meera stayed at home, raising their 6-year-old son. She believed presence was love. Neither of them was wrong. But neither understood the other. Every night, Arun came home tired. Every night, Meera waited, not for money, but for words. "How was your day?" she asked softly. "Fine," Arun replied, opening his phone. That one word One evening, Meera heard Arun talking on the phone, laughing. She hadn't heard that laugh in years. Her heart sank. Doubt entered silently. She didn't ask him directly. She started assuming. Assumptions became suspicion. Suspicion became distance. At the same time, little Kevin watched everything. When Arun came home, Kevin ran to him with drawings. "Appa, look." Arun smiled but said, later, "Kanna. Appa is tired." One day became many. Slowly, Kevin. One night, a small argument exploded into a big one. "You don't care anymore," Meera cried. "I'm doing everything for this family." Arun shouted. Words became weapons. Love turned into blame. That night, Meera slept holding her tears. Arun slept holding his ego. Between them slept a child, awake. The next morning, Kevin had a school event. Parents were invited. Meera went alone. When the teacher asked, "Where is your father, Kevin?" Kevin replied quietly, "My appa is always busy, maybe I'm not important." That sentence broke Meera. She came. That evening, Arun returned early. Meera placed a drawing on the table. It showed 3 people, mother, child, and an empty space. Below it, written in shaky letters, "My family," before they stopped talking. Aaron's hands trembled. For the first time, he saw the damage silence had done. He sat beside Kevin. "I'm sorry, Kana." Kevin looked at him. "Appa, do you love Amma?" Arun couldn't answer immediately. That pause said. That night, Arun and Mira sat facing each other, no phones, no shouting. Arun spoke first. "I thought earning money was enough. I forgot to be present." Mira replied through tears, "I thought silence meant cheating. I forgot to ask, not assume." They realized something painful but powerful: love doesn't die suddenly. It dies slowly. From that day, things didn't magically become perfect. But they started talking. Small talks. Honest talk. Arun began coming home not earlier, but emotionally available. Mira began asking questions instead of building fear. And Kevin, he started running. Years later, Arun told his son, "If you ever feel misunderstood, don't stay silent." Mira added, "And don't assume." Their home wasn't perfect, but it was real. And real love doesn't need perfection, it needs understanding. __ Misunderstanding is not the enemy of relationships. Silence is. Talk, before love turns into distance.
Seedling. She started with nothing. Mira, a story of quiet strength. Mira was born in a small village, where dreams were often smaller than struggles. Her house had a leaking roof. Her family had debts, and her hand. No money, no powerful connections, no shortcuts. Every morning before sunrise, she cleaned vessels, fetched water, and prepared food before school. While other children talked about new phones and clothes, Mira talked to herself about hope. At school, she sat quietly in the last bench. Some classmates laughed at her torn bag. Others ignored her completely. One day, someone said, those words hurt her deeply. But instead of breaking her, they stayed with her, not as pain, but as fuel. Mira failed many times. She failed exams. She failed interviews. She failed in front of people. There were nights she cried silently, wondering, why is life so hard for me? But every time she felt like quitting, she looked at her parents, their tired faces, their unspoken sacrifices. And she reminded herself, I may have empty hands today, but I don't have an empty heart. She kept learning. She kept improving. She kept showing up even when no. Years passed. Slowly, life began to change. Not suddenly. One day, Mira stood outside a new house, strong walls, a safe roof. Her parents stood beside her, eyes filled with tears and pride. That house was built with patience, with failure, with belief. That day, Mira understood a powerful truth. You don't need a strong beginning. You need a strong mind to continue. She had started with nothing, but she ended with something far greater: self-respect.
Starting with nothing is not a disadvantage. It is proof that everything you build will be yours.
The man who stopped chasing time. Everyone in the town ran after time. They chased money. They chased success. They chased respect. But there was one man who stopped chasing. His name was Aaron. Every morning, while others rushed, Aaron sat quietly near the old bus stop with a small notebook in his hand. People laughed. Time waste man. No ambition. No future. But Aaron was. He was listening. Listening to people's stories. A tired mother. A failed student. An old man with regrets. A worker who lost hope. Every night, Aaron wrote one line in his notebook: today, I understood pain a little more. Years passed. The town changed. The people aged. The runners became tired. One day, when the town felt empty, they noticed something strange. Aaron's notebook was now a book. That book spoke about their pain. Their silence, their dreams they never shared. The book spread slowly, no noise, no but people felt seen. Aaron never became rich. He never became famous. But when people were broken, they looked for his words. And only then the town understood. Those who chase time may win money. But those who understand time, heal lives.
Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today's video is not just a story. It is a mindset lesson. This story is called, The Morning That Changed Everything. The clock struck 12 a.m. Fireworks exploded across the sky. People shouted, Happy New Year. But inside a small, quiet room, Arjun sat alone, staring at his phone. No messages, no missed calls, just the calendar changing from December 31st to January 1st. He smiled faintly. Same life, just a new date, he whispered. Arjun wasn't a failure, but he wasn't where he wanted to be either. He had dreams, he had energy, but confidence? That was missing. The past year was full of effort. Job applications, ideas, content, relationships. Everything ended the same way, almost. Almost successful, almost happy, almost there. New Year morning 5:30 a.m. His alarm didn't ring, but his eyes opened. The world outside was silent. Streetlights still glowing. A cold breeze brushed his face. He stepped outside. The sky slowly began to change color. Birds woke up one by one. And suddenly, a thought crossed his mind. Every year begins quietly, but it never stays that way. Something felt different. The old man at the tea shop. At 6 a.m., Arjun walked to his usual tea shop. The old man opening the shop smiled at him. New Year and you're here so early? He asked. As Arjun sipped his tea, the old man said, You know what makes January 1st special? Not the date. It gives us permission. Permission for what? Arjun asked. To start again, without explaining yourself to anyone. That line stayed with him. Decision number 1: Stop waiting. Back home, Arjun opened his phone. Old notes, unfinished ideas, dreams he kept postponing. He deleted one thing, not from the phone, but from his mind: fear. At least for today, he typed one sentence. This year, I won't wait to feel ready. Small actions, new energy. He cleaned his room, opened the windows. Sunlight filled the space. Soft, happy music played. While eating breakfast, his mother smiled and said, This year feels like it's going to be good. Arjun didn't reply, but his heart felt lighter. Midday, the first brave step. He did something he avoided all last year. He shared his content. No overthinking, no perfection, just honesty. His heart raced, but so did a strange feeling: freedom. An unexpected message. In the afternoon, his phone buzzed. A message from someone he didn't know. Your words helped me today. Thank you for sharing. Arjun stared at the screen. A small message, a big meaning. Last year, he chased big success. Today, he touched one heart. Evening walk, a new perspective. At sunset, the sky turned orange and pink. Arjun walked slowly, and he realized, happiness isn't loud. Success isn't sudden. Life changes quietly, as long as you keep moving. Night, a promise to himself. The clock reached 12 a.m. again. But this time, Arjun smiled. He wrote in his diary, I don't know how this year will turn out. But I promise, I will not give up on myself. Fireworks lit the sky outside. Inside, there was peace. A new year doesn't change your life, but the courage you carry into it does. Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today's video is not just a story, it is a mindset lesson. This story is called, The Light Behind the Cloud. Elias was a small clock repairman in a quiet town. He fixed old watches with care and patience. People trusted him. One winter, a big factory opened near the town. They sold cheap digital watches. Fast, new, easy. Slowly, people stopped coming to Elias. His shop became silent. One evening, his friend Marcus, a baker, came sadly. "The town is changing," Marcus said. "We are old now, there is no future for us." Elias listened calmly. Then he said, "This is not the end. This is only a pause." Weeks passed. Money became less. Hope was tested. Then one night, a big storm came. Power went off in the whole town. Digital watches stopped. The big digital clock froze. People felt lost. No power, no time, no direction. Elias did not panic. People felt lost. No power, no time, no direction. Elias did not panic. People slowly entered his shop. Cold, confused, worried. Elias spoke softly. He gave them mechanical watches. "These work without power," he said. "Like humans, we are stronger than we think." He spoke stories. He listened. He taught simple things. The shop felt warm, not because of candles, but because of hope. Marcus started giving bread for free. Others helped each other. After 2 weeks, power came back. The factory stayed. Digital watches worked again. But the people changed. They trusted slow work. Real hands. Real connection. Elias was no longer just a repairman. He became a symbol of hope. One day Marcus smiled and asked, "You knew this would happen?" Elias smiled back. "I did not know the future. But I chose the right thinking." He added, "Positive thinking does not fix problems. It helps us fix ourselves." And that made everyone feel calm, strong, and happy. Smile.
Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Happy New Year to all of you. Glowing star. As we step into a brand new year filled with hope and new beginnings, today's video is not just a story, it's a mindset lesson. This story is called The Secret Garden of Happiness.
Arjun spent most of his days sitting quietly, feeling lonely, unseen, and forgotten by the world. To him, life felt empty. The sky seemed gray, the days felt long, and nothing excited him anymore. He had no friends to share his thoughts with, no hobbies to distract his mind, and no joy to brighten his heart. One calm morning, his grandmother arrived, carrying warmth, kindness, and wisdom in her gentle smile. She slowly opened her hand and gave Arjun a small bag filled with ordinary-looking seeds. "Remember, my child, magic doesn't happen instantly. It happens when you care for something every single day." Arjun didn't fully understand her words. He doubted them, yet something inside him whispered. He walked into the quiet backyard, a place that felt as empty and silent as his heart. Kneeling down, Arjun gently planted the seeds into the soil, hoping for something, anything, to change. Every morning, he returned. He watered the soil patiently, even when there were no signs of life. Week 1, the ground looked the same. Nothing grew. Arjun felt tired, bored, and ready to give up. Week 2. Small green shoots appeared, quietly breaking through the soil like tiny miracles. Seeing them, Arjun smiled, a real smile, one he hadn't felt in a very long time. Week 3. The plants grew taller and stronger, reaching toward the sunlight with confidence. Arjun began to enjoy waking up early, feeling the sunshine, the breeze, and a new sense of purpose. Month 1. Bright yellow flowers bloomed, filling the garden with color, beauty, and life. One day, a neighbor named Sam stopped, amazed by the garden that had transformed the empty space. "These flowers are incredible! Will you help me plant some too? I want a garden like yours." In that moment, Arjun felt something new, friendship, pride, and happiness growing inside him. Happiness is like a garden. It starts small, it grows slowly, and when you care for it every day, it blooms beautifully.
Welcome to my channel. Today, I want to share a story that will change the way you think about your time, energy, and self-respect. This is the story of Arun, a man who always said yes to everyone. Arun's life. Arun was the kind of person everyone loved. Whenever a friend called, he ran to help. Whenever a colleague needed help, he stayed late. Even at home, he made sure everyone was happy, except himself. He was always tired, his dreams paused, his peace forgotten, and yet, he never complained. The turning point. One day, Arun asked for help with his own problem. He needed someone to support him emotionally. Guess what happened? Most of the people he helped were too busy. He felt invisible, forgotten, used. For the first time, Arun realized, I have been available for everyone, except myself. The lesson. Arun decided to change. He started small. He said no to unnecessary favors. He stopped answering calls when he was resting. He focused on his dreams. At first, people were surprised. Some even got upset. But slowly, people started respecting him more. His friends valued his time. His energy returned. And most importantly, Arun felt alive again. Moral: the story of Arun teaches us, being available for everyone can cost you your peace. Saying no is not selfish, it's self-respect. The right people will stay when you set boundaries. Your time, energy, and life are precious, treat them like that. So, stop being available for everyone. Start being available for yourself, your growth, and your dreams. Remember, you are valuable, even when you do nothing for anyone. If Arun's story inspired you, like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more motivational stories. Stay strong, stay focused, and never forget, your life matters. Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today's video is not just a story. It is a mindset lesson. This story is called, The Old Man and the Little Tree. Once, there was an old man named Leo. He lived in a small house on a dry, dusty hill. There were no trees and no flowers. Every day, the sun was very hot, and the ground was brown. Leo's neighbors said, nothing can grow here. It is too dry. But Leo did not listen. One day, he planted a tiny green seed. Every morning, Leo carried a small bucket of water up the hill. He gave the seed a drink. Months passed. The tiny seed became a small plant. Then, it became a small tree. The neighbors laughed. They said, "Leo, that is just one tree. It will not change anything." Leo smiled and said, "Everything big starts with something small." Leo kept working. He planted another seed, and then another. He worked even when he was tired. He worked when the rain didn't fall. He never gave up. 10 years later, the dusty hill was gone. In its place was a beautiful, green forest. There was shade from the sun. Birds came to sing in the branches. The air felt cool and fresh. The neighbors who laughed now sat under the trees. They realized that Leo was right. One person and one small action can change the world. The moral of the story: don't be afraid to start small. With patience and hard work, your dreams will grow. I hope this story made you smile today. Remember, big things start small. Thank you for watching and supporting my channel. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories. Have a beautiful day.
In a small school, there was a boy who always sat on the last bench. Teachers ignored him, friends mocked him, they called him average, nothing special. One day, the teacher asked, "What do you want to become in life?" Everyone said, "Doctor, engineer, officer." When it was his turn, he stood up and said softly, "I want to prove that I'm not useless." The class laughed. From that day, the boy decided something. Every morning when the world slept, he studied. When others played, he practiced. When others gave excuses, he gave effort. Years passed. One day, the same school invited a chief guest to give a speech. When he walked onto the stage, the students couldn't believe their eyes. It was the last bench boy, now a successful man. He looked at the students and said, "I was never the smartest. I was never the strongest. But I refused to believe the lie that I was nothing. They laughed at me then. Today, they listen to me. So if you are sitting in the last bench of life, if people think you're behind, remember this. The last bench is not the end. It's the place where warriors are born. Don't wait for someone to believe in you. Be the reason they have to. Right finger, and that's the lesson for you. Your background doesn't decide your future. Your struggles don't define your limit. Your effort does. So stand up, work harder, and one day, the world will call your name. Don't quit. Your story is loading. If this story touched you, like, share, and follow for more motivation.
Welcome to my channel. If you're feeling low today, this story is for you. The Broken Clock. Once upon a time, there was a small shop with an old, broken clock. It had stopped working years ago. People laughed at it and said, "This clock is useless. It's done." One day, a young boy came to the shop and said, "Sir, can I take this clock? I want to fix it." The shop owner smiled and replied, "You can try, but many failed before you." Every day after school, the boy worked on that clock. He failed again and again. Sometimes he felt like giving up. But he told himself, just because it's broken doesn't mean it has no value. After many days of hard work, one small click happened, and suddenly, the clock started ticking again. Tick, tick, tick. The same people who laughed before now stood there in silence. The boy smiled and said, "It was never useless. It just needed time and belief." And that's the lesson for you. When life says you're broken, when people say you're finished, remember this clock. You are not useless. You are not done. You're just under repair. Keep going. Keep believing. One day, The world will hear your tick again. Don't quit. Your time is coming. If this story touched your heart, like this video, share it with someone who needs motivation, and subscribe to my channel for more. Thank you for watching.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're feeling low or need some motivation, this story is just for you. Watch till the end because the message might change your mindset. The Cracked Pot. Once upon a time, a woman used to fetch water from the river every day using 2 pots. One pot was perfect, the other had a small crack. The perfect pot always delivered a full pot of water, but the cracked pot arrived only half full. The cracked pot felt ashamed. It said, "I'm useless. Because of my crack, water keeps leaking. You deserve better than me." The woman smiled and said, "Tomorrow, when we walk back, look at the side of the path." The next day, as they returned, the cracked pot noticed beautiful flowers blooming all along its side of the road. But nothing was growing on the side of the perfect pot. Then the woman said, "Did you see the flowers? I knew about your crack, so I planted seeds on your side of the path. Every day while you leaked water, you watered them. Because of you, these flowers grew. Your weakness became something beautiful. The cracked pot finally understood." Moral: what you think is your weakness may actually be your greatest strength. Don't hate your flaws. Use them. That's how you grow. You may feel broken, but sometimes it's through your cracks that beauty grows. Welcome to my channel, friends. Today I'm going to tell you a story. Not just any story. It's a story about pain, failure, doubt, and how one person turned all of that into unstoppable success. If you're feeling lost, tired, or close to giving up, this story is for you. So listen till the end, because it might change the way you see your life. From broken dreams to unstoppable success. In a small town lived a boy named Arjun. He was not rich, he was not a topper in school, and he was not special in anyone's eyes. Arjun's father was a daily wage worker, and his mother stitched clothes to support the family. Some days they struggled even for food. But Arjun had one big dream. He wanted to become someone great. He didn't want his life to be decided by his situation. Every day he walked 5 kilometers to school. His shoes were torn, his books were old. But inside his heart, there was fire. At school, other students laughed at him. "Why do you even dream big? People like you can never succeed." Teachers ignored him. Friends doubted him. Slowly, those words started hurting more than hunger. The fall one day, Arjun failed an important exam. He came home, sat in a corner and cried. He said to himself, "Maybe they are right. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe dreams are only for lucky people." That night, he decided to quit. Quit dreaming. Quit trying. Quit believing. He was ready to accept a small life. The turning point. The next morning, he met an old man near the tea shop. The man saw Arjun's sad face and asked, "Why do you look like someone who lost everything?" Arjun told him his story. The old man smiled and said, "Son, do you know the difference between winners and losers? Winners don't win because they never fail. They win because they never quit after failing." Then he said something Arjun would never forget. Your situation is not your destination. It's only your starting point. Those words hit Arjun's heart. That day, he made a decision. I may fail again. People may laugh again, but I will never quit again. The struggle. From that day, Arjun changed. He woke up at 4 a.m., studied with borrowed books, practiced every day, even when tired, worked part-time to support his family. There were days he slept hungry, days he wanted to cry, days he felt like giving up again. But every time he remembered, never quit. 1 year passed, 2 years passed, failures came, but he didn't stop. People still doubted him, but now he stopped listening. He told himself, I don't need everyone to believe in me, I just need to believe in myself. The breakthrough. One day, Arjun cleared a big competitive exam, the same exam he had failed before. When the results came, he couldn't believe his eyes. His name was there. He ran home and showed it to his parents. Tears rolled down their faces, not because of the result, but because of the journey. Years later, Arjun became a successful officer. People who once laughed now respected him. People who doubted now praised him. But Arjun never forgot his past. He went back to his town and told students, if I can do it, you can too. Arjun's story teaches us one thing. Your life doesn't change when you get lucky. Your life changes when you decide not to quit. You may be broken right now, confused right now, tired right now. But remember, this is not the end. This is just the chapter before your success. Every successful person was once a beginner. Every winner was once a failure. The only difference? They didn't stop. People may doubt you, but never doubt yourself. Your dreams don't have an expiry date. Take a deep breath and try again. Hard times are not here to stay. They are here to make you strong. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Take the moment and make it perfect. One day, all the pain you feel today will become the strength you are proud of tomorrow. So, my friend, whatever you're going through right now, don't give up. Your story is still being written, and the best pages are yet to come. Stand up, fight back, and keep moving forward, because your win is on the way. If this story touched your heart, give this video a like, share it with someone who needs motivation today, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more powerful stories.
Welcome to my channel. When life feels hard and hope feels far, this story will remind you to keep going. Motivation story: The Lamp. In a small village, there lived a boy named Arjun. He came from a very poor family. Every day after school, he worked at a tea shop. While other kids played, Arjun sat with his books, dreaming of a better life. People often told him, "Someone like you can never achieve anything big." But inside Arjun, a small lamp kept burning. "I will succeed one day." Even when he was tired, he studied at night under a small lamp. He failed many times, he cried, but he never gave up. Years passed. One day, big news came to the village. Arjun has become a top government officer. The same boy who once worked in a tea shop became an inspiration for everyone. Moral of the story: your situation does not decide your future. Your effort and determination do. Even if negativity comes your way, don't stop. Keep going. Believe in yourself. Success will come looking for you.
Pongal morning arrived with golden sunlight spreading gently across the village. The air smelled of fresh sugarcane, wet soil, and hope. Clean houses, colorful columns, and soft laughter filled every street. In one small house lived an old farmer named Arjun. Life had not been kind to him. Poor harvests, uncertain rains, sleepless nights. Yet, this Pongal morning, he woke up with a peaceful smile. He washed his face, wore clean clothes, and stepped outside.
As he looked at the rising sun, he whispered softly, "Thank you for another chance." Around him, the village was alive. Children ran with sugarcane in their hands. Women prepared the pongal pot. Elders shared stories of the old days. Today, no one spoke about pain. Today was about gratitude. As the pongal pot began to boil, everyone gathered together. Milk overflowed, steam rose into the sky. And one joyful sound echoed everywhere. Pongalo Pongal. Pongalo Pongal. Pongalo Pongal. Later, Arjun noticed a young boy sitting alone near the field. The boy looked sad, lost in thought. Arjun walked closer and asked gently, "Why are you sitting alone on such a beautiful day?" The boy spoke of fear, of struggles, of the future. Arjun smiled kindly and said, "Look at this sun, this land, and these people. Pongal teaches us one thing. After every hard season, a new harvest comes. Believe in tomorrow." Those words stayed in the boy's heart. As the day passed, food was shared with everyone, even strangers. Laughter grew louder. Hearts became lighter. The village felt united, warm, alive. That night, Arjun sat outside his house under a star-filled sky. His problems were still there. But his mindset had changed. Positive thinking does not remove problems. It gives us the strength to face them. Pongal ended, but the happiness stayed. And that is the true meaning of Pongal: gratitude, togetherness, and hope for a better tomorrow. Pongal reminds us to be thankful for what we have and hopeful for what's coming. May this harvest festival bring peace, positivity, and smiles.
A Pongal morning that changed everything. The sun rose gently over the small village, spreading golden light across the fields. The air smelled fresh, of earth, sugarcane, and hope. It was Pongal morning.
Roosters crowed proudly, and the village slowly woke up. Houses were decorated with colorful columns, each line drawn with care and love.
Children ran barefoot on the cool ground, laughing without reason, because today itself was the reason to smile.
Inside a small mud house lived Arjun, a young man who had returned to his village after many years in the city. Life in the city had taught him success, money, and speed, but it had also taken away his peace. Life in the city had taught him success, money, and speed, but it had also taken away his peace. He stood at the doorstep, watching his mother clean the front yard. His father was tying the cow near the tulasi plant, gently speaking to it like an old friend. City life didn't teach me this, Arjun thought. Gratitude. Pongal is not just a festival. It is a thank you to the sun, the soil, the farmers, the animals, and to life itself. As the pongal pot was placed on the fire, neighbors gathered. Laughter filled the air. Someone shouted, "Pongalo Pongal." When the milk overflowed, everyone clapped not for wealth, but for abundance of heart. Arjun helped his father in the field. The land felt warm under his feet. He remembered how his grandfather used to say, "If you respect the soil, it will feed your soul." In the afternoon, the entire village sat together for a feast. No one asked who was rich or poor. Everyone ate from the same banana leaf. Smiles were shared freely, like the sweet pongal itself. An old woman smiled at Arjun and said, "You look lighter today, son." He smiled back. She was right. For the first time in years, his heart felt calm. As evening arrived, kids flew kites, elders told stories, and the sky turned orange and pink. Arjun sat quietly, watching the sun set behind the fields. He realized something powerful: happiness was never missing in his life. He had just stopped seeing it. Pongal reminded him that joy lives in simple moments. In shared food, in open skies, in grateful hearts. That night, under a sky full of stars, Arjun made a decision. He would not run anymore. He would live slowly, meaningfully, gratefully. Because sometimes, returning to your roots is the greatest success. And as the village slept peacefully, the Pongal fire slowly faded, but the warmth it lit in hearts stayed forever. May this Pongal remind us to be thankful, stay humble, and find happiness in simple things. True wealth is not what we earn. It is what we feel. Stay positive even when life is hard. Deep inside a vast forest, there lived a young elephant named Arjun. He was strong, kind, and always helped other animals. But one year, the forest faced its worst drought. Rivers dried up. Trees lost their leaves. Food became rare. Every animal was scared. Arjun tried his best to stay calm, but inside, he felt helpless. One evening, Arjun met a small sparrow named Kavi sitting quietly on a dry branch. Arjun sighed and said, "I am big and strong, but I can't save this forest. Everything is falling apart." Kavi smiled gently and replied, "Hard times don't test our strength, Arjun. They test our attitude." Arjun didn't understand. The next day, Arjun saw a fox named Mira digging near a dry tree. He asked, "Why are you wasting energy? There is no water here." Mira replied calmly, "I don't know when rain will come. But when it does, I want to be ready." Those words stayed in Arjun's heart. Days passed. The forest grew quieter. Some animals complained. Some gave up hope. But Kavi still sang every morning. Mira still worked every day. They believed that dark times don't last forever. Inspired by them, Arjun decided to act. He used his strength to dig deeper near the old riverbed. Where others had lost hope, many animals laughed at him. "Why try? Nothing will change," they said. But Arjun didn't stop. One night, clouds gathered. Rain poured heavily after many months. Water filled the deep pit Arjun had dug. Slowly, life returned. The same animals who doubted him now came running. The forest survived. Not because the rain came, but because someone stayed positive when everything felt impossible. Kavi flew above and said, "See, Arjun, positivity is not about ignoring problems. It's about believing you can face them. Arjun smiled, not because life was easy, but because he had learned the most important lesson. Glowing star moral of the story. Hard times are temporary. Your attitude is permanent. Stay positive, even when life feels unfair. Perfectly imperfect. In a busy city lived a young man named Kartik. From outside, his life looked normal. But inside, he felt broken. He compared himself with everyone. One friend spoke confidently, another earned more money, someone else lived a perfect life on social media. Kartik looked at himself and thought, why am I not perfect? He tried hard to fix everything. He changed his way of speaking. He copied others' lifestyles. He hid his mistakes. Still, peace never came. One evening, tired and confused, Kartik sat in a small park. An old potter was working nearby, shaping clay. Kartik watched carefully. One pot came out uneven. Another had a crack. Kartik asked, why don't you throw away the imperfect ones? The potter smiled and said, those are my favorite. Kartik was surprised. The potter continued, a perfect pot looks nice. But an imperfect pot tells a story. It shows effort, struggle, and growth. He pointed to a cracked pot holding a small plant. Because of this crack, water flows slowly, and the plant lives. Cartoon image. Kartik felt something shift inside him. That night, he realized something powerful. Nobody is perfect in life. And nobody needs to be. The people we admire, they also failed. They also doubted themselves. They just didn't stop. From that day, Kartik stopped chasing perfection. He focused on progress. He spoke even if his voice shook. He worked even when he made mistakes. He smiled even with his flaws. Slowly, life felt lighter, happier, more real, sparkles. And one day, standing confidently, Kartik whispered to himself, I am not perfect. But I am enough. Perfection is an illusion. Progress is real. Empty hand. One day, there was a young man. His hands were empty. No money, no strong background, no shortcuts. Friends were moving ahead in life, and he felt left behind. One night, he looked at himself in the mirror. And a question came to his mind, my hands are empty, but are my dreams empty too? He smiled, because even though his hands had nothing, his dreams were still alive. After finishing his studies, rejections became his daily routine. No experience. We'll call you back. Silence. One evening, he sat alone at a bus stop, staring at his empty hands. And in that silence, he understood something powerful. Empty hands are